October 2025, the world's biggest pop star, worth over $740 million, was about to receive a message that would shake the entire music industry to its core. 34-year-old Taylor Swift was absolutely dominating. Her new album, The Life of a Showgirl, had just broken every streaming record imaginable. Her upcoming wedding with Travis Kelce was making headlines worldwide, and she was being called the most powerful woman in entertainment. But that night, alone in her Nashville penthouse, she got a private message that was the first move in a game she never saw coming. She had no idea that the person reaching out to her had just finished pulling off the biggest celebrity scam in social media history. Simon Leviev, still going by his fake identity, even after prison, had completely evolved his game. He wasn't targeting random women on dating apps anymore. Now he was going after the most untouchable celebrities on the planet, and Taylor Swift was his ultimate prize. Leviev's new strategy was genius in its simplicity. Instead of romance scams, he'd created something much more sophisticated: intellectual manipulation, targeting what celebrities care about most, their legacy and creative control. If you looked at Taylor's recent interviews, she'd been obsessing over AI deepfakes of her voice, unauthorized covers of her songs, and protecting her artistic integrity. That obsession was exactly what Leviev was counting on. And right here, the perfect storm of technology, ego, and trust was about to collide. This time, Leviev had crafted the identity of Dr. Marcus Chen, MIT graduate, AI ethics researcher, founder of Artist Guard Technologies, a company that supposedly helped musicians detect and prevent unauthorized AI recreations of their work. Profile was flawless: published research papers, TED Talk videos, endorsements from tech leaders, but most importantly, he never fanboyed over Taylor's music. He approached her as a fellow professional with a serious business proposition. The first message came through her management team's official channels: professional, respectful, and terrifying. Ms. Swift, our AI monitoring systems have detected over 2,847 unauthorized deepfake recreations of your voice in the past 30 days. We need to talk immediately. This message was the beginning of the most sophisticated celebrity manipulation ever attempted. Taylor's team was immediately concerned. Deepfakes were every artist's nightmare, and the number sounded believable. Dr. Chen provided detailed technical reports, audio samples, and a presentation that looked incredibly professional. But what really hooked Taylor was his personal approach to the problem. In follow-up calls, he didn't just talk about technology, he understood her artistic journey, her re-recording projects, her fight for creative control. "You've already fought to own your masters," he told her during their second video call. "But now there's a new threat. People are stealing your actual voice, your style, your essence. They're creating Taylor Swift songs that never came from you." This hit Taylor's deepest fear: losing control of her artistic identity in the digital age. Right here is where Leviev's masterful psychological manipulation kicked into high gear. Over several weeks, Dr. Chen built an incredible relationship with Taylor's team. He provided free samples of his AI detection service, showing them dozens of fake Taylor Swift songs circulating on obscure platforms. But here's the brilliant part: some of those fake songs were actually Taylor's own unreleased demos that Leviev had somehow obtained. When his system detected them as unauthorized copies, it created the illusion that the threat was even bigger than anyone realized. Taylor became convinced she needed his full protection service. The price: $2.3 million for comprehensive AI monitoring and legal takedown services. For someone making Taylor's money, $2.3 million felt like pocket change to protect her entire career. But Leviev wasn't after her money. He was after something much more valuable. The real plan was psychological warfare. Once Taylor signed the contract, Dr. Chen began feeding her increasingly paranoid information about AI threats. He'd send her urgent alerts about new deepfakes, fake collaborations, even AI-generated interviews. Taylor became obsessed with monitoring every unauthorized use of her likeness. She started changing her creative process, second-guessing collaborations, even questioning whether her own recorded vocals sounded too perfect and might be mistaken for AI. The stress began affecting her sleep, her relationship with Travis, and her upcoming album release. She was becoming a prisoner of her own paranoia. And then, just when Taylor was at her most vulnerable, the trap snapped shut. Dr. Chen contacted Taylor with devastating news. Someone has obtained your personal vocal stems from the life of a showgirl and is planning to release an entire AI-generated album using your voice. We need to take immediate legal action. He presented her with cease and desist documents, copyright filings, and a plan to sue multiple tech companies. All Taylor had to do was sign the papers and provide access to her original recording files for forensic comparison. What Taylor didn't know was that those legal documents would actually transfer partial rights of her new album to shell companies controlled by Lviv. But right at the moment of victory, something nobody expected happened. Taylor's longtime sound engineer, who'd worked with her for over a decade, noticed something strange. The AI deepfakes that Dr. Chen kept discovering had audio compression signatures that matched Taylor's own studio equipment. This led to a deeper investigation. Taylor's team hired independent cybersecurity experts who discovered that Artist Guard Technologies was completely fake. Dr. Chen's research papers were plagiarized, and the TED Talk was created using deepfake technology. The real Marcus Chen was a graduate student at MIT who had no idea his identity had been stolen. The investigation revealed the horrifying scope of Lviv's operation. He hadn't just targeted Taylor, he was simultaneously running similar scams on Drake, Billie Eilish, The Weeknd, and at least 12 other major artists. Each had received personalized threats about AI deepfakes, unauthorized covers, or digital piracy. Each had paid millions for protection services that didn't exist. FBI digital forensics found that Lviev had actually created the very deepfakes he was claiming to protect against. He was generating the problem and selling the solution. The total damage across all artists, over $47 million stolen, hundreds of hours of original music illegally obtained, and psychological trauma that affected their creative processes for months. Simon Lviv was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison for digital fraud, identity theft, and racketeering. His case became the blueprint for new laws protecting artists from AI-based scams. Taylor Swift used this experience to launch the Digital Artist Protection Alliance, working with tech companies to create real solutions for the problems Lviv had fabricated. In her first interview after the scandal, Taylor said, "I thought my biggest enemy was losing control of my music. I never realized my biggest enemy was trusting someone who promised to protect it." This story teaches us that in our connected world, the people who claim to have solutions might actually be creating the problems. And sometimes the greatest threat to your success is believing someone who tells you exactly